Well, first of all, the hurricane season began on June 1st. Meanwhile, the wet season, it tends to vary by a few weeks, and obviously we have been in the wet season since the month of May. Right now, we're under a mix of skies, lots of Saharan dust around, as well as some cloudiness, and obviously we had a passing tropical wave, and that also brought some showers. But most of the showers have been coming and going, for the most part, dominated by a lot of the cloud and some of that dry air that's cutting in underneath it. So we do have some cloudiness and some showers around, but towards the south, out towards the Guyanas, that's where we're seeing the ITCZ. That's where we're seeing our typical wet season rains. Up towards where we are, we have been seeing some blow off from that, so there's some moisture around. But that is set to clean away as we go through Wednesday and Thursday, and then by the end of the week, possibly late on Friday going into Saturday, we could be seeing yet another tropical wave making inroads. So at least for now, you'll notice obviously a bit more in terms of some brightness coming through. We can't guarantee that there'll be no clouds around because there's still a few low-level clouds pushing through, but there will also be some Saharan haze in there, and that's what you will notice through tomorrow. So also, especially for those of you along Tobago's windward coastlines, you'll notice the breeze coming through, particularly through Scarborough down towards Keenan. You will notice the palms swaying and also the flags flapping as you go through tomorrow. As well, down towards the southern areas of Tobago, there will be some haze pushing in out towards Buku and out towards Toko in southern areas, and we'll likely still see some of that haze pushing through throughout the beginning of tomorrow. So at least for Trinidad then, cloudiness, some haze, some Saharan dust, a few pockets of showers here and there, mostly across the hills, but overall you will notice those are dull, not necessarily dreary conditions, but definitely the sunshine will have a hard time pushing through all of that obscurity out there in the sky. So tonight we are looking at lows of 25 degrees Celsius, tomorrow's high 32 in Trinidad, 31 in Tobago, and on that breeze you will likely feel quite pleasant at times, especially in Tobago and in the eastern areas of Trinidad. But come Friday, you'll notice that change. Tropical wave arrives and more moisture expected, and more showers are likely to end your working week and also to start the weekend. Now for mariners especially and the sailors out in the Atlantic, still choppy at times, 2, maybe 2.5 meters, but through the Caribbean we're looking more like 1.5, with easterly swells of 8 seconds, and still continuing to bring those easterly winds, fresh at times. That means 20 knots, and you notice flags flapping on the coastlines, and you notice some whitecaps out at sea. In terms of the Atlantic, we are in hurricane season. It's quiet for now, only a couple of tropical waves out there in the Atlantic, and one that has just passed Trinidad and Tobago. But for the Eastern Caribbean, we have been seeing mostly a settled weather, a few skirting showers coming through for the most part, but there is that Saharan dust, and that's what's been inhibiting most of those showers. But it's been a completely different story out towards Cuba. They're under lots of heavy manners right now. Tons of some heavy downpours expected, thunderstorms as well, and that will continue with them at least as we go through midweek, and possibly not clearing until late on a Friday. So Havana remains under those dull, rather wet conditions, 32 degrees Celsius there. It'll be windy as we get towards Kingston. You'll notice those flags flapping out there as you go through tomorrow. Now, most areas of the Eastern Caribbean are tranquil, save for the bit of cloud. There is a bit of breeze as well in there, and some Saharan dust. So basically, it's not one of those great days for getting a suntan, but in terms of the cloudiness, it will offer some shading relief. But down towards Georgetown, it's still wet and still showery. So that's your weather.